What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Endless Podcast. I am your host, Vanessa. Sit back, relax, and let's unplug and talk endlessly. I've been away from the mic. Honestly, I just feel like May is like that month if you go to school where it's crunch time, all the projects are due, the finals, homework, all that stuff is pretty overwhelming and takes a lot of time. And also, it takes a lot of screen time. I don't know if there's anybody else out there, but honestly, spending so much time on the fucking screen since it's basically a year of doing school online because of COVID is pretty tough on your eyes, and it just, after a while, staring too much, doing so much on the computer makes my head hurt and my eyes hurt after a while. So I don't really want to spend my free time being on the computer editing. It takes a lot to edit. I love it, it's fun, but at the same time, I don't want to overdo it and like kill myself, trying to do all my exams, all my school stuff, and then adding the pressure of making episodes and obviously loving the content that I put out. So I honestly decided to back away from recording episodes. And honestly, I was just kind of like, do I really want to edit right now? And so I just kind of decided against it. And I stood away, and I'm really glad that I did because I really don't want to burn myself out on this, which I consider a new hobby of mine. So definitely did not want to overkill on that. So that's why I really stayed away. And I just really took my time with like coming around to editing and recording again. To start this episode, let me just say, shopping is fucking hard. I hate shopping. It can be such a stressful experience. And I know that it shouldn't be, but it is for me. So I've been on my fitness journey for almost 2.5 years now. And obviously my body has changed a lot. My body composition is so different from what it was at the beginning. I went up 2 pant sizes. I went from small to medium. The thing was tops. I've always had a difficult time with tops because, my breast shape, I don't have a projection. There's different breast shapes, and I feel like as a woman, we're not educated on breast shapes and sizes. I don't know if anybody else has heard this, but I've heard this a lot, that women are basically always wearing the wrong bra sizes. And that is so fucking true with my case. I'm going to talk about this a little bit because I don't have like massive boobs, but I do have a chest, and my chest has fucking grown. I have grown 2 cup sizes. So just because you don't have a lot of projection, like that doesn't mean that you're not that cup size. So cup sizes do not determine by projection. Your cup sizes should be determined by your breast shape. And you really have to do your research on what is your breast shape. You really have to look at your boobs, and you just really have to pay attention to your shape and really measure yourself and try out different bra sizes to understand your bra type. Because I learned that I moved up 2 cup sizes and I'm not really a small anymore. I'm a medium. But then when it goes down to my waist, it's pretty frustrating and tough. It looks very unflattering. So I've been like purchasing stuff, returning majority of the things, being a woman in the fast fashion trend. I feel like fast fashion sucks ass with fucking sizing, and the material's cheap. It's constructed cheap. The clothing's only meant for it to last only a season. They're meant to deteriorate fast. They're not considerate of actually having appropriate sizing guides and making sure that, hey, will it fit flattering? No, they don't care about that stuff. They obviously want to maximize their profit by having cheap material, cheap labor, cheap everything to maximize. And it's just, it's frustrating to look for clothes. Even today, I went to return, like I said, this big haul that I had, and the lady at the cashier was trying so hard for me just to exchange it for the sizes, but I was like, no. Like, she literally told me if I wanted to exchange it 4 times at least, and throughout the entire transaction, and I was like, no, I want my money back. And I did think about it, that I was like, should I just go around and stuff? But I was like, well, think about it. Small does not fit you, and you saw how their medium fits you. Why would you shop there? They clearly don't have a sizing guide that it's appropriate for you, that's really flattering for you. So I was like, okay. And so that's where I also think about it, of like, okay, well, if I don't like how anything fits, then think about where you're shopping. But a lot of the clothes you buy from, it's all fast fashion. I think about all the retailers, right, that are popular. There's Zara, there's Pretty Little Thing, there's Fashion Nova, there's Forever 21, Hollister, there's PacSun, so many. But they all have the same shitty ass sizing guide. I could shop somewhere else, but wear. And I've been trying to also look for like different like online shops and stuff, but it's like I don't like buying clothes online because I'm pretty much always dissatisfied once I get the actual clothing. Like, I think a lot of us, okay, we've seen so many memes, and I feel like we should all accept the fact that the pictures online are not what you get. There's always editing to those pictures. They always all try to reel people in with the pretty picture, but then when they get the actual product, it's not the best, it doesn't fit flattering. Then I can go look for like more expensive clothing, right? But then you look at the price tag and I'm like, hey, well, as a fucking college student on a budget, I cannot afford a top that costs over $60. I can't fathom spending that much money on one fucking top. But I am starting to think about it of like, okay, it's expensive and I can't really justify that, but it's also going to help in control of consumption. The thing about fast fashion, and I remember this like when I was back in my height of purchasing fast fashion when I was a lot tinier, I would buy a lot because it's so cheap. I was like, oh my gosh, this top for $13, it's so cute. Like, yes, something I can afford. And that's how they get you. They have like small price tag and you buy it because it's like, okay, well, it's only $13. It's only $9. It's $10. It's $15. Everything is pretty much under $20, but you're accumulating and you're still spending a good amount of money. But you have a lot, and all that pretty much goes to the trash like after one season. Like, it just does not last you very long because either you try to salvage it, but it pretty much falls apart after so many wears. Like, the fabric is not meant to last you. Like, it's just after a while, we all know it's just like, okay, I'm over it. But if I spend more, I don't have to buy so many, like, so you don't have to buy so much of everything. Like, as I said, fast fashion has really led to like issues of overconsumption. I feel like as a society, especially in America, we have this really huge problem of us overbuying everywhere. Like, I always look at the fitness industry when I think about the way people are way overbuying, overconsumption of supplements, overconsumption of activewear, overconsumption of shoes. It's just ridiculous, honestly, sometimes of how much we overconsume, and it's an issue like with the world even. If you did not know, fashion is one of the leading industries of carbon emissions, and obviously global warming, we're trying to cut down 0%, honestly, should be the goal for the US and all the countries around the world with carbon emissions. But obviously with fast fashion, yeah, the clothing is cheap, but it does also have a really huge impact on the environment. And it has really created a really nasty behavior in society, especially in, like I said, in America, of overconsumption. And it's not just only in the fashion, fast fashion like industry, but it's also like in other industries. But I feel like the source of overconsumption really came from fast fashion, because the idea of every season you get to wear and buy new clothes. They're cheap, they're cute. It's just created a mess. And I do think about it of like, okay, well, change your perspective. Just shop somewhere else. Don't shop fast fashion. Shop, companies that want you, the purpose of you purchasing this item is for you to last. The fabric is way better than fucking Forever 21 or any fast fashion place. Also helps, like, for myself as a college student, to help with my consumption. Realistically, do you need 5 shirts or do you really need only like 1 or 2? Really look at your closet and control your consumption. So I am trying to have a very positive spin on this experience, because I feel like as women, we have obvious beauty standards that are set by society and everything that we see on social media, and we want to look nice, but at the same time, it's not that you don't want to dress up. Sometimes it's just that it's hard to find clothing that flatters you, and also clothes that you fucking like. Not everybody's into the trends. I know, like, when I go to the store too, that's like another big, I don't like what I see on the racks. This isn't my style. Mainstream isn't everybody's taste. And you can always fix that by like, okay, well, why don't you go now more vintage shopping? Or, there's definitely different ways to shop. And if that's what I'm really getting into, like discovering the wider world, there's more to it than that mainstream trendy fucking shit, but you just have to go look for it. It's harder to come across, yeah, but I just think that after so many times of buying and returning, being disappointed, and the sizing is shit, but you get to find a new way to shop, and better and more sustainable. There's so much clothes in the world that I'm like, do I really want to look for freshly made and it's killing the environment, lame ass big businesses, or do I want to shop more smart, sustainable people who are local vendors and just really go that route? Honestly, I feel like that's kind of of where I'm more heading towards, because going to the mall, going to different stores, like trying on different things, returning things, it's so, I don't like that stuff. But also it's a challenge and really discovering my body type, understanding myself, and kind of, trying different things of what I do like and what I don't like. Because obviously, like, my body is so different from when I started my fitness journey, and finally starting to shop for me again. It's like a blessing and a curse, because it's a blessing because obviously this is where I wanted to be and I love my body. I love how far it's came, but it's a challenge. You can get into your own head. You really shouldn't justify your progress or compare your progress, or, sizes are not an accurate measurement of your body. And you shouldn't use that of a way to track your progress. You really shouldn't. And same thing with tops, and it's just, because I feel like a lot of the clothing now is really meant, a lot of the fast fashion clothing, which a lot of us obviously shop for, because that's really the only thing that's really like shown in our face. All these fast fashion, because everything's online, they really can pump out their advertisement to us, and we obviously think it's cute and we shop from there. And the sizing, the way that they make the clothing really doesn't flatter all body types. I feel a lot of these fast fashion trendy shops, whatever, they really make their clothing more for like those women with like a hourglass body type, or some of them to be really like lanky. Either you see really curvy women or you see really lanky women. That's really the people that they're trying to market to. Like, for example, Hollister, if you see the models of their clothing, okay, they're really thin. They don't really have much curve. They're very thin women. And a lot of the clothing is really geared towards women who have that thin body type look. And then you have like retailers, Fashion Nova, who cater more towards women. Well, they project their clothing more towards women who have like that hourglass look. I mean, their Fashion Nova, their fucking logo has a freaking curvy woman as like one of the letters. And so their clothing isn't always going to be the most flattering towards all body types, I was a very thin girl with no curves at all, and I buy stuff from Fashion Nova. Their sizing really won't look the best on me. The point that I'm coming across is that a lot of these fast fashion stores really don't accommodate to all the different body types, and it really goes for a specific body, and it's shitty because those are the ones that are really shown to our faces, and they can really give you that cheap price tag, which is what I really look for, because again, I am a college student. I'm just taking it as a learning experience where I'm really learning about what materials do I like? What's flattering for my body type? I'm really getting to know this new body. I don't really know her. Like, I haven't taken the time to learn what looks great on me, what doesn't, what do I like, what don't I feel like I have a new style, I have a new taste, and I really want to explore. And honestly, as I'm looking at the typical places that I would always shop at, now shopping back at these places, I can't fuck with it. I'm like, they don't fit me, and I just don't like anything. Honestly, above all, I just don't really like what they sell anymore. It's just so not my taste. So I am taking this as a big learning experience, really taking the time to finally treat myself and fucking buy clothes that fit me, okay? Because I spent too long wearing clothes that do not fit me, just wearing big ass t-shirts and my fucking sweats and leggings at my house, which I don't mind. I love being a comfy girl, but sometimes I want to dress up and I can't because nothing fucking fits me. It can be a little bit discouraging. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it is discouraging because I'm so proud of my gains, but not finding clothes, it's not it, girl. It's not it. But I'm not losing hope. I just really wanted to really talk about this and kind of, like, I guess I was venting about me finding clothes. But yeah, maybe you relate too. I feel like as women, I feel like there's so many women that can agree with me out there that shopping as a woman is really hard, because every single store, every single brand has different sizing guides and different women that they're trying to target and who they're really thinking about when they're making the clothes, when they're designing them or whatever. And it's pretty tough, like shopping store, finding something. It's a challenge, especially too for all my girls out there that are, getting used to their body. If you've lost weight or like me gained weight, there is that moment of, okay, now I have to buy my clothes, what fits me. And it's difficult because obviously are happy and proud of yourself for the way your body is now, but it's also, it can get to your head of that negativity of like, okay, I'm super proud of it, and now I'm finally going to be able to wear clothes that I've always wanted to. but it doesn't fit me, you know? And it's just, it can be disheartening a little bit, but it's also very exciting to know that, you know, you did take yourself here. You have an amazing body. It's just that you have to really look at it, take away the feeling from it, and you really have to think about it logically, not emotionally. And you just have to think, and how I think, it's that it's not that my body isn't good enough. It's not that at all. It's the fact that these companies don't want to make clothing for all type of women's bodies. They're not inclusive. They think about particular women. They target particular women. They obviously have models of particular women. And they're just not thinking of you. It's not because your body isn't the best or whatever. It's literally because this company just has shitty sizing guides. And they're just not inclusive. With that being said, and to close out this episode, I will be giving a little bit of tips to deal with that issue as I did. One is to go shopping with a friend, invite a close friend, and have that good energy around. It helped me out a lot with buying clothes and just kind of smoothing out the shopping experience. Is, like I said, somebody who gives you positive, uplifting vibes to help you out. And the other tip is return those fucking clothes that do not fit you. Don't hold on to them. Just return them. And the other tip is, which would be the last tip, is to shop at places you didn't think you would shop. Get an open mind of going to different stores and reaching out of places like the mall and going to more local stores, even thrifting, or really exploring online stores. Shopping is more of a small business. It's pricier, but you know where your stuff is coming from. And a lot of the time, those small businesses have a lot better intentions than the big corporations, big businesses do. That is it for this week's episode. It felt so good to record and really just let everything out. Thank you so much for listening, and see you next time when we unplug and talk endlessly. Check out at _endlesspodcast_ on Instagram for updates. You can follow me on my fitness page on Instagram at curlytoned. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with your friends. Let me know what your favorite part of this episode was. See you next time to unplug and talk endlessly.